Hello everyone, I am Undead Horde and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the defense only account. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is the official first debut of this account as an actual standalone video. It has been mentioned before in other videos. I have you've seen some gameplay and some stuff here and there, but it's never actually been officially stated as its own separate video series. So this is fun. It's exciting. We're finally taking like a real deep dive into the old account. So defense only, for those who don't know, is pretty basic. It's not what you think it could be, because there is defense. You might think it's defense only units, and that's not the case. It's any unit that uses defense as an attack in any of their skills. So you might have a defense unit, but their attack is still based off of attack or HP or whatever, so they're ineligible. Only anybody that says the little green here that says defense, damage based on defense, is eligible for use. Obviously, one of the best ones in this for very early on is Morag. I got Morag day one. This was my starter. How did I do that? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Because usually you'd think, well, you can only get it by spending money. But you don't have to. You can get her like within the first 5 minutes of your account being active. You get 500 free Plarium points for just having a Plarium account. You get your first 500 for free. Then you get 250 for free from the it's called like new platform gift that you'll get in the shop. So you get 250 for free for that, and then you get an additional 500 if you use the link PP, or if you use the promo code PP500, and that gives you the full 1250 that you need to complete the very first track, and you can get Morag Bronzelock. Next, we have so I guess, well, I'll go over her, what she looks like. I don't play too much on this account, so artifacts are going to be bad. I'm going to start paying attention a little bit more, but it's only just now started I'm doing that. So here's what we have. Clearly, well, for her, and anybody who knows her abilities, there you go. They know it's kind of, oh, wait a minute. There's a counterattack? A counterattack's been hit while under a strengthen buff placed by this champion. That's cool. So she doesn't actually, from my understanding, doesn't need any accuracy, because she doesn't place any debuffs at all. She just places buffs, and I'm pretty sure buffs don't need accuracy. I'm pretty sure it's just any effect that you're trying to place on an opponent. So accuracy is not the most necessary thing on her, but crit rate is. Having max crit rate is what you want to see. I'm clearly a little ways off from that. But also just survivability, good HP, good defense. Obviously, you want to have a lot of defense. That's what her damage is based off of. I don't quite know what type of speed she needs. I guess at this rate, speed is speed. Like, you just want to have as much as you can. That's the best stat. So she got 30 speed, or 30 plus to her speed, which puts her at like, what, 29 in total right now, 129 speed. Which I think is fine. It could be better, could be worse. Definitely not great gear. There's some stuff that definitely can get swapped out at some point in time, once I find anything that's slightly better to put onto her. And, I've actually grinded out for that. Next, we have what I used my free champion to get, was Ultimate Deathknight. This is the only one that made sense to get, because he is a defense-based champion here. I guess, what, to Hanorach, I believe also actually has hers based off of defense, if I'm not mistaken. she is. So she honestly would have been possibly a better choice. At the time though, I really like UDK. I really like UDK. And that's kind of where my mind was at. It's like, oh, another account which I can use UDK. And I didn't even really consider just the pure raw power of Tehanarak at the time because I hadn't had the chance to play with her. But now that I have, I semi-regret my decision. But at the same time, UDK. This is UDK's build. Again, definitely not perfect. Has significantly better accuracy, though, which is much more necessary with everything that he does. Between the provoke, between the fear, the decreased attack, just a lot of good stuff that we need to have the accuracy on. So he's sitting at a pretty 132, which obviously could be a lot better. But starting off, I don't think that's terrible by any means. Again, I would like to have additional crit rate that I just don't have. We have an enormous amount of health, a decent amount of defense, and we're sitting with a lot of speed. We might even be having 172 speed. That might even be too much speed for a UDK. I have no idea though, but a lot of speed. Moving on, we have Greybeard. Greybeard is nice. Again, this I just was actually throwing artifacts on him just to complete some missions for Arbiter. So, whatever. Greybeard is a farmable character, champion, which I love. His A1 is based off of attack and does provide a provoke, but the A2 is a defense-based attack and provides the freeze. And so this is what's important to me, obviously, because he does have at least the one defense. And then we have a shield that he places, which is cool. Moving on, we have the Longsword Torux. Again, not a ton going on. I just kind of threw a bunch of stuff on. Will need a way more accuracy for the leech. And again, for the provoke. A lot of provoke units, it feels like, which is good. Gives me at least options. So, fully booked, which is lovely. The Greybeard is not fully booked. No. The Greybeard I'm slowly working on. But the Longsword is fully booked. These are stats. Stats are not great, but are getting there. Has the best crit rate, though, out of everyone so far. Sitting at a whopping 88% crit rate. And then I actually can get the additional mastery, just haven't done it yet. So there, we got the mastery and now sitting at 93% crit rate, which I think is pretty good. At least he's going to be critting pretty often. Then we have our common Troglodyte. Max skill, attack based off defense, obviously, but does a decrease attack, which I guess is cool, but isn't the most necessary. Ponder is a new one I haven't used too much. Attacks one enemy, has a 25% chance of placing a decrease attack. We love decreased attack on the A1. Then we have the A2, which attacks one enemy and places a freeze debuff possibly. So that's pretty good, and that can be ascended. And increase the resistance of all allies by 15%, or by 15 for each active buff. Increase the resistance of all allies by 15 for each active buff on this champion. I actually think this is a pretty good passive. So could definitely be usable in some type of stuff, which I feel like he should be, but he only has 14 reviews, so it's kind of hard to tell how good he actually is or isn't, but I think I like him nonetheless. Then we have Sentinel. Sentinel is actually an HP champion, but his A1 is attack and defense with a provoke. The A2 is decreased attack and heal reduction, which is just attack based. And then also has a passive, which lets him heal himself. And there's a few more. I don't feel like I need to go through every single champion, but I guess here we are. Fortress Goon has a decreased speed on the A1, which I think is really, really good. I should probably look actually into investing into getting Fortress Goon up there. a lot more because just decreased speed abilities are generally really, really nice, especially on the A1 for 2 turns. Then we have the A2 with an attack all enemy with a heal reduction. Both of these are based off of defense and attack. And then the A3 is a heal, which all allies heal by 10% of their max HP and places a increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. This increased defense buff is beautiful just because it any increase whatever buffs also affect the damage of it. So the increased effect, increased defense would actually increase the damage of the attacks. That's also super helpful for Ultimate Deathknight's aura is increased defense of all allies in all increase ally defense in all battles by 30%. That's a huge buff right there. Just naturally everybody got to their power is going to be stronger. Then you place an additional defense buff on them and it's just going to go another 30%. So that's an additional 60%. 60% increased defense goes absolutely insane. This is somebody I really, really do like this account because I think there's so many different kind of cool niche little things that you can do and stuff from these champions that you don't really get to see a whole ton about. And so I would love to be able to sit down and actually build these guys up and see how they work together because I think there could be a lot of really cool things. He'll be pretty good just for dungeon stuff, I feel like. Apparently good in Hydra, campaign, arena defense. So some stuff going on here. Definitely got himself a place. So I'd like to work on building him. Executioner, I actually believe is supposed to be a pretty decent. Has attack one enemy and places a stun on the A1. Then the A2 attacks all enemies, decreases the turn meter by 20%, had a 50% chance of placing a 15% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. So this is really, really nice. Turn meter control plus decreased speed. And I've got to stop doing that. And the A3 is an increased debuff and a counterattack buff on this champion for 3 turns, a 30% increased debuff. So this guy alone, with the additional debuffs, can go up to plus 90% decreased defense. I believe, as long as they all stack on each other individually. Then we have one of the strongest uncommons in the game, if not the strongest, being Armiger, whose both attacks are based off defense, and his A2 is based off of, also has enemy max HP. This guy is an absolute beast for things like Spider, but you guys should already know that. And then we have a few more commons and uncommons that I really don't want to touch on too much here because this portion is going to be way too long as it is. I think the other one that's kind of okay to mention here is line infantry for having not one but 2 separate provokes that can be applied on both of his skills, and I think that's pretty cool if I need a good provoker. Not good, but if I need additional provoking to take place is what I'll say. So the rest of the account goes as follows. We have made it to, we're starting to go through Brutal Campaign. Then for Dungeons, Ice Golem, we have not managed, like I said, this account has barely been touched. You can see from the 4,000 energy. So I'm sure we can make it way farther in Ice Golems if I tried, but we're only at 3 right now. Next video, we're really going to see how far I can push it, like where we're at. We haven't attempted all Spider's Den, but I definitely can beat at least the first probably 2 or 3 stages. Minotaur, we beat the first 3, and Dragons were up to 6, but could probably push past that. I don't see why not. For Arena, we are currently sitting at Bronze 2, but very close to getting into Bronze 3. And Clan Boss, we are not doing phenomenal. Actually, Clan Boss, we can't even quick battle yet. But a lot of that, again, is just my lack of care. for this account right now. If I actually had these guys at max level, better artifacts, things like that, actually got the troglodyte out and put in anybody who is better, the team would probably do a lot better as well. So there's definitely some work to be put into. Like I said, I really do like this account, and this could honestly take over as one of my favorite accounts if I actually put a little bit more effort into it, and I really do want to. I'm probably going to sit down, honestly, tonight after this recording and take a genuine look at the account and see if I can tinker around with it and get some stuff to happen. So yeah, that's the account. It's a ton of fun to mess around with. If you've never done anything like this, if you want to do a challenge but you're not quite sure where to start and you want something that's a little bit easier but still fun, an account like this is what I would go with. It limits what champions you are allowed to use for sure, but it gives you access to some pretty powerful champions, I feel like, and a lot of kind of interesting, cool, like little things that you can do that people might be able to look over, especially with like just a standard free-to-play account or whatever. So we had to do one small little summon for the video, but we didn't get anybody good. We got ourselves a siege breaker, which cannot be used. Unfortunately, we should hold off though on using any more gems because of what's this head coming up here? Clan CVC. I don't think there's anybody out here. I don't think there's anybody else here in storage that I can use. But, you know, sorry, I keep looking away. We have Miskas in the old house and in the old apartment, and I hate it. But we've got traps set up, and I'm hearing some type of movement, but I don't think it's the traps going off. But it might be. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and comment down below. And I will see you guys in another video soon. Peace.